everybody. We are on page 288 in the book. Make sure and have your book open. 288, this is 6.7. It's the distributive property. Page 288. Okay. We talked about the distributive property a little bit last year. It is a way that you can break numbers up into sums or differences that allow you to multiply by another number, and it makes mental math easier. Again, just like I mentioned in the video before, if the directions say to use the distributive property and you guys don't use the distributive property, you're not going to get the correct answer. Okay, you have to use the distributive property to get full credit on this assignment in this lesson. If you look on page 288, it gives us an example using blocks. You can find the total area by finding the sum of the areas. It's from the theater paragraph up there at the top. But if I've got a block that's 3 by 4, and I've got a block that is 4 by 6, and I put those two together, and I get 9 by 4. If I add these two together, like if I bring all this stuff together, then my total is 9 by 4. What they're trying to show us, if I use area, is length times width. 3 times 4 is the area for this, which is 12. And the area for this one is 6 times 4 is 24. If I add those two areas together, I get 12 plus 24, which is 36. Right? Everybody agrees with that? Remember, I used to have a break right here. Now, if I do the area of this, I get 9 times 4, which is 36. Okay, so this total area is 36, just like it is here. And what they're trying to show us is the two expressions have the same value. They're equivalent expressions, and we're using the distributive property. These are equivalent expressions for the same information, okay? I need for you to write this down in your notes. Make sure I don't run out of room. For the distributive property, okay, for numbers A, B, and C, A times B plus C, okay, is equal to A times B plus A times C. Okay, that is at the bottom of 288 in the notebook section. This works for addition and for subtraction. A times B minus C is A times B minus A times C. Okay, that is the distributive property, and what we saw here, this is equal to A, and this is equal to B, and this is equal to C. So what they were showing us is that A times B plus C is equal to A times B plus A times C. Over here, this is B plus C right here, because 6 plus 3 equals 9. All right. I'm going to link some more videos that can do more manipulative looking examples that I can't do in the amount of time that I've got. Plus I have a crick in my neck and I can't hardly turn my head. Get this written down, and then we're going to start with some examples. Okay, now I've got example 2 up here. There's 3 different parts to it. We're writing equivalent expressions. In your homework, it's going to say write an equivalent expression for these expressions, okay? And what you have to do is show me how you would distribute, which means to multiply, this -4 times 5 plus 8. So the equivalent expression is going to be -4 times 5 plus -4 times 8. Okay, that is the equivalent expression. Now I'm going to simplify this. -4 times 5 is -20. And -4 times 8 is -32. Remember, I've got the same signs here. So all I have to do is combine these two numbers and give them the common sign. -20 plus -32 is -52. And if you look at the examples in the book, they're going to show you this is the answer. This is how your answer should look. But you can check your answer, -4. What's 5 plus 8? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. -4 times 13 is -52. These give us the same answer. But I've just used the distributive property to get the same answer and to write equivalent expressions. Okay? Here's another example. I'm going to distribute the 4 to the 50 and the 4 to the 3. So I'm going to have +4 times 50 minus 4 times 3. These are equivalent expressions. 4 times 50 is 200 minus 4 times 3 is 12. 200 minus 12 is 188. All right, and I can check by multiplying 4 times 47, which I don't know off the top of my head. 28, 16, 17, 18 equals 188. You should get the same answer here as you get here. If you don't have the right answer. And I need to tell you, just like I tell my 7th and 8th graders on the distributive property, if you show me this, if this is your work, you're not going to get credit for it. You must show the equivalent expressions and the problem, okay? This is merely a check to make sure that you've got the answer correct. Make sure that you're going in the right direction, okay? This one is a little bit different. The equivalent expression here is going to be 7 times 9 plus 5. Okay, basically we're going backwards. This expression looks a whole lot like this. We're going the opposite direction. 7 times 9 plus 5 is 7 times 14, 28, which is 98. I'm going to check though. 9 times 7 is 63. Plus 35, which gives me 98. All of these can be found on page 289. Okay, example 2. Get those written in your notebook. Okay, example number 3 in the book is a word problem. It says you're buying 8 small lava lamps as door prizes for a disco party that you and your school is having. Each lava lamp costs $15.95. Use the distributive property to find the total cost of the lamp. We're buying 8 lamps. The cost is $15.95 each. Okay, and we have to use the distributive property to find the total cost. I know that if I wanted to find the total cost, I would do $15.95 times 8. And that's fine any other day when we're not supposed to use the distributive property. However, that property is there to help us to make mental math a little bit easier. So we are going to round these numbers up a little bit, and you'll notice $15.95, I could do $15 plus 95 cents. Do we all agree that that's $15.95? We should. But that's still going to make this multiplication a little bit more difficult, okay? And the whole meaning of the distributive property is to help mental math be a little bit easier. What the book suggests that we do is make this 16 minus 5 cents. 16 minus 0.05, because 8 and 0.05 are gonna be a nice round number. So the way this problem is done, 16 minus 0.05. $16 minus a nickel is $15.95. So this is an equivalent expression. All right. So now I distribute my 8 to the 16 and my 8 to the nickel. 8 times 16 minus, my minus comes from here, 8 times 0.05. 8 times 16 is 128. And I know that 0.05 times 8, I've got 2 decimal places, minus 0.40. I'm going to take 40 cents off of $128, which is going to be $127.60. Okay? Go back and read each step, listen to my explanation, each step. Your homework for this, after this lesson, is going to be the odd problems. You'll have to see the spreadsheet for more information about which ones. If you have any questions, give me a text or give me a call or have your parents send me an email, okay? Don't not understand how to do this work, because the next lesson or the next assignment is going to be the evens that are going to be for a grade.